Well, there are a lot of bills going through the Utah legislature right now looking to address the rising cost of prescription drugs, and they are all tackling this problem in different ways.
Yeah, so today Representative Paul Ray presented his bill that would look at the pharmacy benefit manager who acts as the go-between between pharmacies and drug manufacturers.
So on a $400 unit of insulin, the PBM goes in and negotiates a price. The price they negotiate is $400. They require a 65% rebate paid directly back to them by the drug manufacturer. So the drug manufacturer will pay that rebate back to the PBM. The PBM then splits that with the insurance company, and then they keep the rest. The manufacturer makes roughly $88 is what they're making in that $400 prescription because of that rebate requirement. The consumer pays the full price plus a few extra wholesale fees and transfer fees. So the consumer ends up paying $408 for a prescription that the manufacturer is only making $88 on, but the PBM is keeping the majority of the money.
Well, interesting the way that he broke it down. I don't think a lot of people know that there are so many middlemen between the pill maker and then when you get the medicine at your home. So it's kind of interesting how he broke that down. Also, another bill that we're talking about, this one's House Bill 207. It would actually work to decrease the cost significantly of insulin copays. Take a listen.
It's just immoral to expect somebody to pay $1,200 for something that doesn't cost more than $50 or $100 to produce.
So that's Representative Norman Thurston. He is working on this bill. He says House Bill 207 would change this by capping the insulin copay for each patient at $30 a month. And this would potentially cut doctors' visits as well.
We want to give pharmacists the ability to then continue or extend those prescriptions so that you don't have to be stressed out about, I've got to get in to see a doctor in the next 3 or 4 days.
So at today's press conference, Representative Ray specifically said these bills aren't in competition, but would both work together. Although he hopes that if they can cap what those PBMs are making, there won't be a need to cap copays.
And basically, we just want a solution. A lot of people keep telling us that. We actually had a chance over the past few weeks to talk with some of the people specifically impacted by the rising cost of insulin, and they joined us on set last week. Here's our conversation with them.
Utah lawmakers are discussing a bill on Capitol Hill that would cap copays for insulin at $30 a month. That saving families impacted by diabetes a lot of money.
Yeah, Jennifer Draney and Mindy Hooley from the Utah chapter of T1 International are here to help us understand this. And you both helped spearhead House Bill 207. Tell me about that effort, Mindy.
Yeah, well, I reached out to Norman Thurston and Representative Norman Thurston and asked him if he would just help us. There's people that are rationing and dying because of the cost of insulin, and he was all for it. He's like, yes, let's get this going. So,
when you say people, you are both impacted. Your families are both impacted.
Yes, very much.
Jennifer, you have type 1 diabetes and your son.
Yes.
It will impact you. If this passes, this will impact you immensely.
Absolutely, absolutely. This will help put a cap on the price of insulin monthly, save our family, you know, hundreds and hundreds. But it's not just about me, and it's not just about Mindy, but thousands of Utah families that are suffering.
Right. And you've met a lot of these families. I'm sure the reaction to this has got to be excitement. The fight's not over, but
no, it's not over, and there's a lot to be done still. We want to cover supplies eventually too, and bring awareness to type 1 diabetes. But right now, our fight is just affordable insulin.
Do you know what the status of the bill is right now, where it's headed?
Yeah, yesterday at the Health and Human Committee meeting, we had they held the bill, but that's okay. I'm okay with that because I'd rather than make the bill as best as it possibly can.
And so a lot of work is going into this. Jennifer, I got to sit down with you. I actually got to come to your home and talk to you about this issue. Maybe help us understand, for people that don't have family members impacted by diabetes, for you, seeing this bill go forward, what does it mean?
This literally means life or death for people. We can't wait any longer for something to happen. We need this to pass right away, and then we can move more legislation forward. And we need it now. People are rationing and dying right here in Utah and all over. So.
And what is the insulin, just for those who may not be familiar? What does it actually do for you? How critical is it?
Yeah, it's like water or like air. For type 1 diabetics, insulin-dependent diabetics, you can die within hours or days without it. It's something you need to process food and energy in your body, and your body will become toxic and all your organs will shut down and you will die without it. So it's essential for life.
And you're both mothers of sons who have type 1 diabetes. Mindy, your son, his story actually went national. Tell me that story for people that don't know that story. Tell us about what he was doing with his insulin to make sure that he was able to continue having that prescription.
Yeah, he was diagnosed 4 years ago with type 1 diabetes. It was a big shock to us, but the bigger shock was that the cost of insulin was to keep him alive. I went to his doctor's appointment with him, and he found out that he had been rationing. He had not been feeling well, but yeah, so he was rationing, so I thought, I got to do something then. I found out that more people in not just Utah, but all over the United States are dying from this, so I thought I had to start this chapter, and then that's how that happened.
Rationing because he saw the
cost.
The cost.
Okay. That's so heartbreaking to hear your sons having that
It was
stress.
$800 a month is what we were having to pay, and we were losing our cars, our home, and he was having to choose between eating food, and all of us were. It was pretty awful, and he felt bad and wanted to do something. And, he saw his sisters going without things that they needed, and
We appreciate you sharing your story and spearheading this bill. We're of course going to watch this. Thank you so much for joining us, Jennifer and Mindy. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Great conversation with them, just to see how this would impact their families.
Right, yeah, people who are actually going through this, and there are a lot, it seems like. So,
right.
Yeah.
So we wish the best, and they're going to keep us updated, and we'll keep you guys updated on House Bill 207.